You don't need a practice routine. In fact, thinking that you need a practice routine is probably getting in the way of you actually practicing and getting stuff done. What I'm not saying, to be clear, is not you don't need to practice, because I firmly believe the more time you put into the instrument, even if it's not productive time, it's better than hours in is better than no hours in, even unproductive hours. However, I think a lot of people aren't putting time in because you're saying, oh, I need a practice routine. I think when people say they need a practice routine, they think of practicing as, okay, I need to block out an hour, and then I need to spend 10 minutes working on scales, and then 10 minutes working on Hanon, and then 10 minutes studying theory, and then 10 minutes whatever, right? They need to have a checklist and go through this whole checklist. And what ends up happening is that checklist sounds like a lot of work. It feels daunting. It goes in a bunch of different directions, and people just end up not practicing at all. You just end up not playing. What is a routine? Think about routine things in your life, like brushing your teeth, or doing the dishes, making coffee in the morning. Routine things, there's a comfort to them, but they're mindless, they're repetitive, they're not creative, they're kind of made for you to turn your brain off, right? I get up in the morning and I make coffee every morning, and it's I like it. It's a fun, it's a nice morning activity, but it's not an activity where real growth happens, right? I don't get in the headspace of coming up with something new. I kind of turn my brain off. There's merit to that, not saying that, but when we get to the piano, we want to think about the headspace we're in. And when you have put playing piano in the part of your brain of, oh, that's a routine thing, and then you make this checklist of all these sophisticated things you need to do. I gotta practice my scales. I gotta da-da-da-da-da-da. And you've kind of put it in this weird place in your head where it's an active place to play, but you're looking at it as a routine. So instead of looking at it that way, instead of coming up with a big checklist, first of all, approach practicing piano like it's fun. It's fun. Just jump in, ready to have fun. I did this in a video the other day, but listen to how nice one note is. Play one another note. It's nice, right? It's fun to just let your fingers feel the piano. So don't approach the piano like it's routine and you got this checklist to go to. Just get to the piano and let your fingers touch it, because your fingers can't lie to you. Touching the piano, even when you don't know anything, it's just fun. Even people go up to pianos and do this, right? So don't think of a routine. Think of the exciting, fun game that it is to let your fingers touch the piano and let the sounds come out. And then, just like a game, set up little goals. Maybe there's a song you're playing, and maybe the song goes from D to G. Set up different goals for yourself. Here's where a teacher can really help. But for example, you could make sure on that little progression, you can play your triads in different inversions, maybe like this. And then one more inversion, right? Setting up a small goal. I think people also intimidate themselves practicing because they're I need to learn this crazy piece. They're I need to learn giant steps. They're oh my gosh, if I can't learn giant steps today, I'm in so much trouble. But maybe you're let me get the first two chords of giant steps down. First two chords are B major to D7. Doing D9 there, but same thing, right? D13. Come up with different ways to get between those two chords. Not try to conquer the whole world that is giant steps, but the first level that gives me 50 experience points is the B to the D7 at the beginning. And maybe that's all I work on that song. I spend a couple minutes on it and then I'm done. That's so much more productive than thinking oh, I gotta intensely study the song for 30 minutes and write out all the scales, or whatever kind of weird, complicated things people say they have to do in order for their practicing to count. Just getting your fingers on the keyboard counts. I guess the point of this video is don't think you need to have a routine that's like structured and elegant and all this stuff. Like, get a little messy at the piano. Zoom out and think about that kind of stuff away from the piano. But when you're at the piano, it's better to just like make sound than like not get to the piano at all because you're trying to have too cool of a routine. If you like this video, drop a comment that says boogers are yummy. If you don't like this video, drop a comment that says boogers are gross. And if you want to learn about piano stuff, drop a comment and let me know what piano stuff you want to learn about. Bye.